Netflix is a massive platform that's been the top dog in the world of streaming services for a long time, but that doesn't mean they can't make people so angry that they cancel their subscriptions or even boycott their company. And the people making decisions at Netflix genuinely know how to make people angry. They are always releasing shows or movies that people think are terrible. They make PR statements that turn into massive controversies, and now there are numbers coming out that are saying that Netflix's competition is doing pretty good. It says Netflix's slice of US subscription streaming pie has shrunk 19% in the past 2 years. But before we get into the topic at hand, if you enjoy the content that I create, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. Follow me on social media like Twitter or mine so that you can see when my content is posted. And if you do really enjoy the videos and the live streams that I create, please consider becoming a Dark Titan via Patreon for just $1 a month or supporting via direct donations. All of the links are in the description, and of course, I do really appreciate all of the support. So let's start off with this article by The Wrap. It says a rising tide lifts all boats, but in Netflix's case, that may not be such a good thing. As more big-name streaming services have hit the scene over the last 2 years, Netflix's dominance over the US subscription video-on-demand market has taken a big hit, according to new data shared by research firm Antenna. The key takeaway from Antenna's data is that Netflix accounted for 29% of all paid streaming subscriptions in the US by the end of June, down 19% from Q2 2019. Netflix's dwindling slice of the American streaming pie comes after the launch of newer services like Disney Plus or Peacock. So let's look at figure number 1 for share of subscriptions. There's Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus, HBO Max, Paramount, Starz, Showtime, Discovery, Peacock, and Apple TV. I mean, there are a ton of streaming services now. But if we look at Q2 2019, for Netflix, it was at 48%, but going all the way to Q2 21, it is at 29%. They did have a steady incline, and then they just started dipping. It went from their highest at 49% in Q3 2019 to 40%, 38, 37, 35, 33, 31, and 29. They have taken a pretty big dip, and there are way more subscription services now than there were then. But still, Netflix talks a big game. Netflix knows that they're the top dog. Netflix knows what they have to offer, and they know people are always going to be subscribing to their service. But I think that they're not that afraid of their competition. But if you look at Hulu, Hulu is currently at a 19%. That's only 10% away from Netflix. Now, this could spell a lot of trouble for Netflix because Hulu and Disney Plus are pretty close together, and they are steadily inclining. I mean, just look at Disney Plus. Disney Plus hasn't been around for that long, and they already have 17% of that market. Do I think that something like Hulu is going to grow to rival Netflix's 29%? Personally, I don't think so. I do think Hulu has some good content, but I just don't think they put out enough original content. But Disney Plus definitely has been putting out a lot more content. There's been more content on it. So I do definitely think Disney Plus could surpass Hulu and maybe even rival something like Netflix. Again, though, I do not think they put out enough content right now to do that, but that doesn't mean in the future they won't ramp up production. Now, it looks like Netflix might have reached a ceiling for people who want to subscribe to their service. I mean, their all-time high was 49%, and it has dropped ever since they hit that. While, yeah, the number might fluctuate by a percent or two, for 2 years now, their numbers have been dipping while others like Paramount Plus and HBO Max's have increased. Not by much, but still, an increase is an increase and a drop is a drop, which is funny, because Kevin Smith a few weeks ago was saying how Netflix told him, oh, we've got 200 million subscribers, so if a few people don't like Masters of the Universe Revelation, that's okay, it doesn't really matter. But it doesn't look like they've got a ton of room to grow, so all they can really do is lose subscribers. They have been the king of the streaming services for years now, but there are other options for people to choose from, and no matter how massive your company is, you can still lose customers. I do think that Netflix does put out a lot of original content. They pump it out all the time, and I do think they offer a good variety for people, but unfortunately, it doesn't look like it's been enough for people. It looks like people are still getting, kind of tired of Netflix, and they're going to other services like Hulu, Disney Plus. And there are other streaming services on top of all of these ones that aren't even on this list. These are just like the largest streaming services that there are currently. But there are things that could rival Netflix. I don't necessarily think they should be afraid right now, but when you're a company, you're always looking to the future, and they do have some solid competition. So it says, does this mean Netflix is on the verge of going the way of the short-lived Quibi? Of course not, but there have been small signs the streaming heavyweight stranglehold at home is loosening. For the only second time ever, Netflix recently reported it lost North American customers during the last quarter, 400,000 to be exact, during Q2. I did talk about this in a video, but that is quite a drop. It says overall Netflix had 73.95 million customers in the US and Canada, with about 65 million of those coming from the States. And based on Antenna's data, that came out to about 224 million streaming subscriptions in the US overall, which is a little less than one SVOD service per adult on average. Netflix has had a really big base of content. Let's be honest, there's no denying it, but the point of these services is so that you can pay less than cable and actually get content you wanted to watch. But if you take Paramount Plus, Peacock, Netflix, Hulu, HBO Max, Crunchyroll, Funimation, Disney Plus, all of these, and add them up, it is super expensive. They bank on the fact that people tell themselves, oh, it's only one subscription service for $10 a month. But with a ton of big services, an average person isn't going to pay for all of them, and Netflix is a service people are apparently willing to cancel. I wanted to also really quickly recap on another article I had read in another video that says overabundant emphasis on woke content likely the reason behind Netflix losing nearly 500,000 subscribers in the United States and Canada. I do not like the direction Netflix goes with a lot of their shows. Are all of them woke? No, they are not, but they do definitely release content that goes that way. It says this past Tuesday on the 20th of July, Netflix revealed that the company has seen a loss of nearly 500,000 subscribers in the US and Canada during this year's second quarter. Of course, they did blame it on the COVID-19 pandemic, causing lumpiness in their membership growth. But if we scroll down, it says while Netflix may argue the irregularities caused by the COVID-19 pandemic are to blame for their loss in subscribers, there may be more to this phenomenon than the popular streaming platform is letting on. So this article references a study done by OnePoll which revealed that 1 in 3 are ready to end their streaming subscription services over the abundance of uninspired shows. It says regarding respondents who are planning on ending their streaming platform subscription, 46% said that Netflix was the platform they were likely to cancel, while 34% said they were planning on canceling Hulu, and 34% said they were planning to cancel Amazon Prime. So it says the study also revealed that respondents believed Tiger King was the most overhyped show of the pandemic, with other series like I Care a Lot being bad as well. I do think that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. Netflix does have a little bit of good content, but you have to go through the tunnel and get through all of the bad shows and movies to actually get to the good ones. They hype up a lot of their series like Tiger King and I Care a Lot, and a lot of people aren't that impressed with the content they're releasing. We'll definitely have to see if numbers continue to drop, but right now it is not looking good for Netflix. Their slice of the US subscription streaming pie has shrunk almost 20% in the past 2 years. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed it, please make sure to give it a like, share it, and subscribe to the channel. And of course, if you didn't, make sure to give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.